Coach, obviously a tough way to lose it here in the shootout, but you guys played a good game, came out with a tie in the NCAA and against another good CCHA opponent as well. How would you assess how things went down at the end and throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, as we've always said, the conference is tight, so they're a good team. I thought Northern played a good game. I thought we had our moments of being really pushy as far as like what we wanted to get done, and then there was moments where we lagged. We took back-to-back penalties. We gave up a goal right after that. We gave up a face-off goal. Those are recipes just not to end up in the right column.
The first period, I feel like that might be. You look back on that, you had the forechance on the power play. You got one off the face-off, but 5 shots on goal. Did you feel like maybe there was a little meat left on the bone, even in terms of momentum in that frame?
Yeah, I mean, you come out of the first period with the lead, but we didn't really push it over the top by any means. To get the goal was too good, but I thought our first, there was just a little disconnect on where we were at, but second, I thought, even though the score, we're down, 2-0, the first 10 minutes of the second, you really liked. There's a 2.5 minute spurt there where we shot ourselves in the foot.
So, Coach, it was a great first and third period, I'd say. What do you think you can do better in the second period and just keeping that consistency throughout the match to keep putting the pressure on and not really taking the foot off the gas?
I mean, the penalties in the second period probably put us back on our heels a bit, back-to-back penalties, and the way we took penalties it's not conducive to win, so it's a big part. I mean, we hemmed them in early second. I thought they responded with a bend, don't break mentality. We didn't get it behind the goalie, so maybe we were too fine. You got to get a little bit uglier, greasier, and get to the net a little bit more.
Did you feel like the third was really strong? I thought you guys really played your game in that frame.
Yeah, I thought we had pace. I didn't find ourselves in our zone very often, and we weren't there for lengths of time anyways when we were. Transition was good on that side, and it was a good push. But it's one thing to push, I think, when your back's against the wall. It's the other thing to push from the front side. So as a group, you got to collect points. We wanted more than just the 1 point.
Coach, what's the plan going into tomorrow? How are you going to improve on this, and what do you want to see from your guys tomorrow?
Well, I mean, as a collective group, we got to come back and respond. It's when you play the same head-to-head opponent back to nights, you got a job to do as far as being ready for the next day, and they're going to be a familiar opponent now. That first period, maybe that first period tonight ended up being two teams that didn't really know each other, and there was a little bit back and forth, and we got to get up to that and push from the front.
Your first line with Morton, Souter, and Wilson, I really thought that they had a night tonight. It just seemed like every shift they brought it. Talk about their play.
Yeah, as the game went on, I thought they played against Grant and his group. They wanted to get a group out against them, and we were finding ways that they, if you want to play an offensive line against them, then they're going to go possession for possession. If you want to check, then hopefully we've got the puck, and you're going to be on defense a long time. So good on Morty and those guys to tip the scale, especially in the third period. It was a good what we have to get done.
Coach, I think Tracy was a player that I loved to watch today. I thought he was doing great stuff, and he was keeping you guys in the game a lot of the time. What do you like about him, and what have you been seeing from him lately to help you stay in games?
Yeah, Trace is calm. I mean, he made big saves at a few big moments. Gave us every opportunity to win the game in regulation. The other part, I think, when you find a goalie that's responsive to the situation, like the number of chances that they have isn't going to be a large. They're going to be some nice looks, and he was able to defend those off. So for us, he gives us a good backbone.
Souter, kind of a really weird play there where the goal gets waved off, and then he scores. Less than a minute later. How happy were you with the way the guys responded to having that goal waved off? I feel like that can be a deflator sometimes.
It could, especially when the tightness of the game and the back and forth of the game at that point. It didn't cross the goal line on the first, crack at that one. Their response, for the same line to go back out there and score again, even though, the first one that they got negated of the goal, good on them and very determined group. I mean, I was glad our group stayed together.
A situation where you feel like if that regulation might have been just 2, 3, 4 minutes longer, you might have found one more.
I think you feel that way. I mean, the momentum felt that way, but at the same time, maybe we got to push a little bit earlier and not respond to some moments. You know, that first period, that momentum should have been ours, kept ours, and maybe we could have grown that score that way.
What were your favorite parts of what you saw today and how your boys responded? And what do you want to see them continue to do as a group?
I mean, every time I think when our guys stay together and don't let a score impact the way I played, don't let an outcome like just continue to come over in waves. They care for one another, and I thought their response to being up and then back down, then back to even was great. You go to a shootout, you put yourselves in a situation where, you know, I thought our overtime looks gave us some opportunity, and then we just got to find a Saturday night here to bounce back and collect the points that we left on the table.
One more. And I love the way you guys came out in the third period. What was the talk at the end of the second period going into that? What was the team talk?
Yeah, sometimes it's not about the conversation as much as it is like I think when you have that opportunity to go back and forth and get back out there, I probably a little bit was the idea that we didn't get jobs done in the second, so our response to what we didn't get done.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.